Gentlemen, hello, how are you? Hope you're all doing well. This is your commissioner, Commissioner Jim, checking in with the Week 5 recap, Week 6 preview show. Without further ado, let me just get right into it. Last week, big week, a lot of big scores, a lot of production. We've also seen a lot of injuries starting to come down the pike, so keep that waiver wire in mind for any mid-season pickups that you might need to make. A lot of running backs and wide receivers and even quarterbacks are starting to go down. So in week 5, I took on Sebastian Brogan. And as I called, I performed far better than his team did. I beat him 137.4 to 96.2. My top scorer was Jonathan Taylor. And my boy, Kadarius Toney, also known as Joka. He's a rapper. He was a rapper down in Florida. And a little gadget player, but definitely benefiting from all of the injuries to the Giants receiving core being Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, and Darius Slayton. That's right. Kadarius, great waiver pickup for me about a week ago. Humble brag, also a New York Giant, so it gives me a sense of pride. Seb had Josh Allen, who put up 35.9 points, and James Robinson, the running back for the Jags. But other than that, didn't really get much of a strong showing from his team. Seb drops to 2-3. I improved to 3-2. Okay, Andrew's disbarment. Evan taking on Evan's lost $2,000 poop veneer, Andrew Hansen. Evan dismantled the poop veneer, Andrew Hansen, 159.2 to 116.8. Evan's top performers were Mike Williams, the receiver of the Chargers, and Devontae Adams, each receiver putting up 32 points. Holy fucking shit. That's pretty nice when you have that type of production at the receiving position. Andrew's top performers, Tom Brady and Austin Eckler. Tom gave him 37 points. Austin gave him 30 points. Normally, with that type of production, you would think that the rest of the team would carry weight. It didn't help that he left Calvin Ridley in the lineup. Calvin Ridley didn't even go to London, so that shows you he wasn't paying any fucking attention. Darren Waller, limited production, and then a little glimmer of hope with Michael Carter Jr., the rookie running back for the New York Jets. He had a decent day with 13 points, but Evan improves to 4-1. Andrew falls to 1-4. Okay. Ya digs, Matthew Barbaccia taking on Captain Dan's Kiwi Scallywags, the pirate ship. Now, although this wasn't a high-scoring game, Dan improves to 5-0 with a rousing 105.6 to 98.7 victory. Dan's top performers, Jalen Hurts and Darrell Henderson, neither one of which had a very big day, which means that Dan's entire roster gave him some production. For Botch, Kareem Hunt gave him 23 points, Aaron Rodgers gave him 19 points. Where Botch got screwed was Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt. Keenan Allen only gave him 10, and then Bob Tunyon, the Packers tight end, only gave him 1.3 points. Shout out to Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Chiefs. For Botch, gave him 10 points, and the Ravens defense gave him 0 points. For Dan, he had a solid performance from Chuba Hubbard, the rookie running back from Oklahoma State for the Panthers in his flex. Travis Kelce gave him 14. Chris Godwin gave him 10. James Conner gave him 10. So overall, like I said, a very solid performance for Dan's team, but very beatable. 105 is a low score and would not have won against a lot of teams last week, including mine. Dan 5-0, Botch drops to 1-4. Moving on, Bird Gang Hunter Mitchell taking on Dome in the Dome Boomer Dangle. Now, for the longest time until the Monday night game, it looked like Boomer might get his second win. He was in the lead. He was doing well. He had Ezekiel Elliott give him 24 points against the Giants. Dawson Knox, the Bills tight end, gave him 19 points. But then Monday night happened and Lamar Jackson dropped 41 points. Hunter's team, when Lamar Jackson has a big week, Alvin Kamara has a big week. He also has Dalvin Cook's backup, Alexander Madison, for the Vikings, gave him 22 points. It's just very hard to beat. Where Hunter's roster is weak is in the wide receiver 2 into the flex position. Now, I think DJ Moore is better than 6 points a week, and so is Tyler Lockett. But Zach Ertz is not the starting tight end for the Eagles. He just came in when Dallas Goedert got hurt. And then Brandon Cooks, he's been kind of off and on. On his bench, he did not play Miles Sanders. He also did not play Marquez Callaway of the Saints. Marquez is such a hit or miss, but he had 22 points, and I don't understand why you don't play Cordero Patterson, Hunter. He is very good, and you've not played him for let's just take a look here, guys. Okay, since week 2, Cordero Patterson has had 21 points, 13 points, 32 points, and 14 points. Now the Falcons head into their bye week, and Hunter hasn't played him once. For Boomer, it was a tough showing. Also, Derek Carr getting hurt, that doesn't make it easy. Boomer's had the worst luck with his quarterbacks. First, it was Tua going down. Now Derek Carr goes down. I believe Boomer, if he hasn't given up hope on the season, will try and trade for Matthew Stafford on Nino's bench. And if you didn't know that Nino is stashing Matthew Stafford, you should take a look at that. But Boomer's got solid skill guys. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, Joe Mixon, Justin Jefferson, Amari Cooper, Dawson Knox, and then Deontay Johnson. All of those guys can have 20-plus days. Now, he messed up by not playing Matt Ryan or Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had the game of his life, and he was just sitting on Boomer's bench. So, another poor. It's not that Boomer doesn't have the tools in the toolkit. It's just that he's not using the right tools on a weekly basis to get the outcome that he wants. Hunter improves to 4-1. Boomer drops to 1-4. Moving right along, Baltimore Bentis, Ben Levinson improving to 3-2 against Kareem Pie Brent Domble in the closest game of the week, actually. Ben edged out Brent 129.9 to 123.5. Another Monday Night Football heroic performance for Ben. Got the job done. The tight end, Mark Andrews, gave him 36 points from a tight end. Holy fuck. Mark Andrews just continues to remain right there with George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Darren Waller. 30 points. I mean, that's more production than any of those guys have put up, maybe other than Travis Kelce this year. He also has Trey Lance, the rookie for the 49ers. Mediocre performance for him. Aaron Jones, the Green Bay running back, 12 points. 21 points for Najee Harris, the rookie Steelers running back out of Alabama. Robert Woods, 21 points for him. Solid day. Allen Robinson, the Bears receiver, 5 points. So some inconsistent performances for his defense. Big pickup with the Panthers D giving him 10, but he did not play Chase Claypool, who gave him 21.5. And Samaje Perine. Everyone hates on the Bengals for not having enough tools outside of their receivers. And Joe Mixon has a nice little compliment in Samaje Perine. He put up 16.3 points, but was left on Ben's bench. It'll be interesting to see who he plays. I guess he has to go with Sam Darnold sitting on his bench, who had a ugly 3-interception performance last week against Hunter's Eagles. Now, Brent, on the other hand, had 41 points from Justin Herbert and still lost. 41 points for Justin Herbert, 11 from Mike Davis. But outside of that, Alex Collins, the Seattle Seahawks running back, filling in for Chris Carson, 8 points, no production. A.J. Brown, the Tennessee Titans wide receiver who was returning to the lineup, 5 points, no production. Scary Terry McLaurin of the Washington football team, 6 points, no production. So that's where you get hurt. Jared Cook, tight end for the Los Angeles Chargers, 3 points, no production. Hollywood Brown of the Ravens in his flex gave him 29 points, had a big day for Hollywood with 2 touchdowns and 9 receptions. And the Bills defense gave him 15 points. And he left Zach Moss on the bench. Now, Zach should be a starting running back. I have him on 2 other fantasy teams, and he finds the end zone. He's going to give you 10 points every week, at least for a flex, solid play. Put him in. Michael Pittman Jr. also left on the bench. He had a big night for the Indianapolis Colts with a touchdown and 18 points sitting on Brent's bench. If he had played Michael Pittman over 2 of his other receivers, he would have taken care of Levinson. And last but not least, the final game of Week 5 was Bills Mafia Nino Di Pasquale taking on Hunter's Volvo Gregory Spry. Nino gave Greg the business, 142 to 107.9. Nino improves to 3-2 on the year. Greg falls to 1-4. Nino's top performers were Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans running back, and Jamar Chase, the rookie wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. For Greg, Mike Evans had 26 points, and DK Metcalf had 24 points. What hurt Greg was Russell Wilson getting hurt. Damian Harris had a fumble, the running back for the Patriots. But outside of that, I guess you look at Greg's tight end, Noah Fant, gave him 3 points. Adam Thielen gave him 5 points. Didn't get much help from the Rams defense. But you look at Nino's team outside of Devin Singletary, the Bills running back, who I don't think is their go-to bell cow anymore. I think it is Zach Moss, so you should probably sub him out, Nino. Nino did not play Myles Gaskin, who put up 26 points. He hates Myles Gaskin, but somehow is just stashing him. And with Chris Carson and Julio Jones being hurt still, Nino's lineup was bolstered from Deebo Samuel putting up 14 points. Nick Folk, the kicker for the Patriots, gave him 17 points. And Dak Prescott put up 20 against my G-men. So, what should we do? Week 6 preview or take a quick look at the standings? Let's take a quick peek at the standings, see where we stand going into Week 6. Now, sitting up on his little perch is Captain Dan's Kiwi Scallywags with a perfect 5-0 record. Now, Dan, despite being 5-0, does not have the most points scored this season, nor the most points allowed. He just happened to have the right timing. Luck does play a role in your weeks. You can put up 140 points, but if you lose to the team that puts up 150, it doesn't really matter. Now, does it, Mr. Levinson? It doesn't. So, Dan's 5-0, but there are a handful of other teams that are outperforming him right now. So, that trends in Dan's team will come back around, boomerang effect. It hasn't happened yet, but the trends are pointing in that direction, Dan, where your reckoning is coming, my friend. Your reckoning is coming. Tied for second, Andrew Disbarment, Evan Homewater, Bird Gang, Hunter Mitchell, both at 4-1. Now, these two teams, Evan has the most points scored this season so far with 607. Hunter is right there behind him at 591. Both of those teams on paper stacks up better than Dan, given their points for, but, you know, they both have one loss, so we'll see. Tied in fourth place, 3 teams at 3-2. Commissioner Jim, Bills Mafia, and Baltimore Bentis all at 3-2. Nino and I both have 570 points, so we're, just a notch below where Evan and Hunter are, but above Dan, which is part of why I say it's trending in a different direction. The points are coming from teams that are stuck in the middle. Levinson has 503 points. So to have a 3-2 record with only 503 points scored is another indicator of luck with his season thus far. Tied in 7th, 2 teams, Kareem Pye and Sebastian Brogan, both 2-3. Brent has 560 points scored. I expect Brent to, at some point, leap over Lev. I know that they just played each other, so I think those 2 teams are right around the 500 record. Then 4 teams in 9th place. Evans lost Poop Veneer, Andrew Hansen, Ya Diggs, Matt Barbaccia, Hunter Zvalvo, Greg Spry, Boomer Dangle, all sitting at 1-4, with the highest scorer of those being Andrew Hansen. If the playoffs were to start today, this is who would be in. The 1 seed Dan taking on the 8 seed Sebastian. 2 seed Evan Homewater taking on Brent in the 7 seed. 3 seed Hunter Mitchell taking on Lev in the 6 seed. And then I would be the 4 seed taking on Nino in the 5 seed. Okay, those are your playoff standings and bracket and all of that good stuff. Now, to bring this episode home, let's dive into Week 6, the preview. The Thursday night game, for those wondering, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, in Week 6, I kick it off by taking on Baltimore Bentis, the battle of 2 3-2 teams. This should be a very good game. I'm projected to beat them by 0.1 points, 113.1 to 113. So that's a toss-up. My top performers thus far this season have been Kyler Murray and Jonathan Taylor, among others. Joe Burrow and Aaron Jones for Ben. It's really, are the stars going to show up on this one? I expect a victory because I've got belief and pride in my team, but wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Jones goes off and just has a ridiculous day and Lev edges it out either. But I'm predicting a victory for Commissioner Jim in this one. Ya Diggs taking on Andrew's Disbarment, Matthew Barbaccia taking on Evan Homewater. Evan is projected pretty comfortably to win this one, 120.8 to 111. Patrick Mahomes, Nick Chubb, projected to be the top performers for Evan, with Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook. If Dalvin is fully back in action, projected to be the top performers for Botch. I think Evan wins that one comfortably and improves to 5-1. Now, Evans lost Poop Veneer, Andrew Hansen taking on Sebastian. This is an interesting, intriguing matchup right now. Andrew, coming off a tough loss to Evan last week, has Tom Brady and Austin Eckler. Tom Brady just had his best performance of the past 5 years with over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Thursday night play, quarterback, Eagles defense isn't very good. Sorry, Hunter, although they did just beat the Panthers. They're not very good. Tom should have his way with them, but it's a short week, so that always adds for some mischief to factor that in. But we'll have a very early read on what Andrew's team will be doing this weekend after Thursday night. So it's Tom Brady against Josh Allen. Saquon Barkley is still in Seb's lineup, but he's hurt, buddy. You got to take him out. I'm curious to see the depth in Seb's bench, who will replace Saquon. But I like Andrew to win in that and improve to 2-4, Seb to fall to 2-4. Captain Dan's Kiwi Scallywags, 5-0, our perfect team so far, taking on Bird Gang, Hunter Mitchell. 2 rivalry games back-to-back. I love it. This is a real test for Dan's team. I mentioned he might lose last week. He did not forget about that and was the first one to let me know I was wrong. Well, Dan, am I going to be wrong again? I'm projecting. The projections have Hunter winning this. I'm projecting that Hunter wins this, but will Dan prove me wrong again and improve to 6-0? The reason why I like Hunter's team so much is that, both 2 mobile quarterbacks, right? Dan has Jalen Hurts. Hunter has Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's better than Jalen Hurts. Advantage, Hunter. Now, RB1, Miles Sanders for Hunter, Darrell Henderson for Dan. A slight advantage for Darrell Henderson, but that's kind of a push right there. Hunter picked up on the waiver wire Devontae Booker, the running back for the Giants. I hate to burst your bubble. The Giants aren't going to run for very much, nor really where Devontae's value is in the red zone. And similar to Zach Moss of the Bills, he'll get those first and goal from the 5, 2 carries. Can he get in? If not, then they're going to go to the pass. But the Giants have to get creative. Depending on whether or not Daniel Jones plays on Sunday, they're taking on the Rams. Aaron Donald is the best defensive player in this motherfucking game. Arguably the best player of all time to play on defense. So, Devontae's not going to have they're projecting 13 points for him. I don't think he's going to put 13. He might find the end zone once, which will boost that, but I think Dan might have the advantage with the running backs here. Wide receivers, Stephon Diggs for Dan, Tyler Lockett for Hunter. Advantage Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, advantage for Zach Ertz. Now, Dan doesn't have a defense, or he's got the Bengals sitting on his bench. Yeah, he's got the Bengals sitting on his bench, so he'll play the Bengals defense. Well, actually, Dan, when he puts in his defense, will probably be favored to win this. Hunter's hurt with Cordero Patterson on a bye week and Alvin Kamara on a bye week. So, God, that's going to be a good game. I think Hunter edges it out. Dome in the Dome, Boomer taking on Bills Mafia. Nino, right now, Nino's projected to win 109.7 to 103.5. Boomer, again, has been just hamstrung with his quarterbacks. He's putting Teddy Bridgewater back in. Will Teddy and Zeke Elliott and Boomer's strong running back core be enough to dethrone Nino? I think Nino's got a lot of momentum going right now. Nino edges out Boomer in this one, improving to 4-2. And last but not least, the last game of the week, Kareem Pie, Brent Domble taking on Hunter's Volvo, Gregory Spry. Brent is projected to win 121 to 87.9. This is just not Greg's year. I'm sorry, buddy. If Gronk's back, you should definitely put Gronk in your lineup, Greg. He is Brady's favorite target, and it's a Thursday night game, and Noah Fant didn't give you jack shit last week. So if Greg puts in Gronk, it doesn't really help him that much. It moves the line like a point. But I think Brent has the better roster here. Brent edges out Greg and improves to 3-3 on the year. So with that, this is your commissioner signing off for yet another week of the Commissioner's Report. I will check back in next week. I hope you all enjoy this little baby stash here. And be well. Namaste.